Today, I just want to speak about one of the iconic person or people that we once had as South Africans, and that iconic person is Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela's life was the ultimate testament to an unbroken mind, surviving 27 years in prison and emerging to lead deeply a divided nation required more just political strategy. It demanded an extra level of mental resilience and leadership. Based on the iconic insight captured by some of the people who were closely with him, there are many lessons of which they have tend to understand and learn about Nelson Mandela. But in today's video, I just want to speak about core lessons of leadership and how they apply to staying mentally strong through adversity or difficult times. The first lesson, we have to understand that courage is not the absence of fear, it's inspiring others to move beyond it. And in my understanding, is that Nelson Mandela admitted that he felt fear many times during his underground days or his struggle days while facing a lifetime prison sentence. However, he understood that as a leader, you cannot let that fear show. Mentally, or the mental strength doesn't mean you never feel anxious or overwhelmed at some point. It means you choose to act in spite of it. But by putting a calm, confident front, you regulate not only your own panic, but also the steady people around people that you live with and the people who are around you. The second lesson that I want to speak about is you have to understand that lead from the front, but don't leave your base behind. So, true leadership requires taking bold initiatives, even if it means stepping into a dangerous comfortability or a dangerous zone or uncomfortable territory. You have to understand that you have to allow maybe sometimes some people to lead, actually. And Mandela was willing to make tough, controversial decisions. For an example, beginning a secret negotiations with apartheid government while he was still in prison, because he knew it was only a way forward to negotiate sometimes. While you know that once you do that, actually you're trying to pave a new way, and it worked for him just because he allowed many doors for the apartheid leader to actually come and negotiate with him. And in that way, the mindset is that an unbreakable mind accepts the loneliness of leadership. You must have the conviction to take the first difficult steps toward a massive goal. And you also need to remember that remaining grounded enough to bring your team, your community, or your students or people along with you, many things are going to change at the end of the time. And lesson number three, lead from the back and let others believe they are in front. Mandela many times compared the great leader to a shepherd. The shepherd stays behind the flock, letting the nimblest go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing all the while that they are being directed from behind. So, in a nutshell of this is that the true inner strength doesn't need a constant spotlight or applause. You don't have to be on a spotlight all the time when you're leading. You just need some of the people to actually shine. So, but at some point, you can still have an influence to actually make a difference at the end of the day, and maybe even not taking a credit out of that. So, that is also empowering, and that is also making sure that some of the other people that you are working with they actually succeed. So you have to at least listen deeply to their inputs, and guide the direction subtly. And also, you need to understand that true power lies in the consensus, not in a dictatorship. And then, lesson number 4: know your enemy and learn their favorite sports. This one is interesting because during his imprisonment on Robben Island, Mandela took the time to learn Afrikaans, of which was used by the leaders or the people of apartheid, as this was going to allow him to know the language of the oppressor. And he studied their history and culture. By understanding their mindset, worldview, and vulnerabilities, he was able to communicate with them effectively, and eventually he was able to disarm them. So, in that sense, when facing an immense obstacle or a problem, a broken relationship or adversarial situation, do not let anger blind you. Study the challenge objectively, understand the precise nature of what you are against, um, is the first step to conquer the problems that you'll be facing. So understand the problems, study them, and then take time to reflect on that and take the right decision whenever if you have to take the right decision based on the information that you'll be having and the conclusions that you'll be having. The lesson number 5: keep friends close and your rivals even closer. Mandela was a master of political embrace. He would invite his fiercest critics, political rivals, and people he didn't fully trust to his dinner table, appointing them to positions within his cabinet or inner circle. He preferred to neutralize threats by pulling them close rather than pushing them away into the shadows, where they could be able to plot anything against him. And in real life, this it means that mentally resilience involves rising above personal grudges or petty conflicts. It means focusing entirely on the bigger picture and using diplomacy, emotional intelligence, and strategic alignment to convert potential friction into progress. Lesson number 6: appearances matter. And remember to always smile. Mandela was incredibly conscious of his presentation. Appearances matter, and remember to always smile. Mandela was incredibly conscious of his presentation. His brilliant, warm, and radiant smile became a symbol of hope and victory over oppression. Even in dark times, his posture, tailored suits, and dignified demeanor projected absolute control and victory. How does this apply to you and I? How you present yourself to the world shapes how you feel inside. When you are going through a brutal week or facing a mountain of tasks, stand tall, dress with purpose, bring positive energy. Posing a confident exterior sends a powerful signal to a subconscious that you are still winning. Moving on to lesson number 7: nothing is black or white. Mandela was really careful with this, and not an uncompromising ideology. He understood that human beings, political situations, and life choices are deeply complex. An action could be flawed but necessary. An opponent could be ruthless but still poses a thread of humanity worth appealing to. Applying this to our lives is that we need to understand that fragile minds break because they demand a perfect black and white world. When things don't go exactly to plan, a rigid mind fractures. An unbreakable mind embraces nuances, adapts to shades of gray, and finds alternative paths when the ideal route is blocked. Lesson number 8, which is the last: quitting is also leading. Knowing when to stop or when to step down, close a chapter, or a pivot to a new strategy is profound sign of strength. Mandela famously served only one term as South Africa's democratically elected president, setting a rare example of relinquishing power voluntarily to ensure the stability of the institution. Now, applying this to our daily lives is that we have to understand that we have to not confuse stubbornness with resilience. Sometimes walking away from a failing approach, selling an asset that no longer serves you, or shifting your timelines is the smartest move that you can take and most courageous thing that you can also do. It frees your mental bandwidth to focus on something else that truly moves you forward. You also have to understand that I will leave some of the certain things, or we have to leave some of the certain things of which we think that they're no longer serving us. And it's always seems impossible until it's done. And therefore, with the message that I've left with you today, I would like you to like this video, pin a comment below, subscribe, and let us raise this channel together. Thank you.